man. So peep this clip right here from my live stream and make sure that you have my notification bells turned on so you always updated with the latest and greatest content, dog. Clayton Howard, one of the male escorts from Diddy Rico, is suing Cassie and Diddy and alleging that he contacted an STD from Cassie, and he also claims that Cassie aborted his unborn child. So it took some time, but the paperwork is now starting to pop up online. The reports came out first. But yeah, they trying to get some of that money out of Cassie. It's a crazy situation. There's been a back and forth arguments between whether or not Cassie was the victim or a villain. And I think she was caught up in the circumstances. Was she enjoying the situation? I believe that time she did. I think both things can be true in this whole thing. But she was caught up in the circumstances. So we're going to tap into that.
So good morning. I am Dave, the man who has just sued Cassandra Ventura for damages involved in the Sean Combs sex trafficking trial. And I'm looking through social media and I see a lot of the women out there, particularly black women like myself, who choose to victim shame me and try to do everything they can to discredit me, because the truth is that the loss of the Sean Combs trial was a loss to the Me Too movement and to hating women like the women who are trying to insult me. So let me tell you something, you women out there who would like to insult me. This is my story. I was paid by Cassandra Ventura, for 8 years to be her male provider. I didn't have to be the best looking guy. I was the best in bed. And because I was the best in bed, guess what? I was given this arrangement. I was coerced. I was drugged. I was manipulated with promises of money and gifts for over a period of 8 years to continue to be this woman's provider at her expense and at the expense of Diddy. Now, at the time, legally, I didn't know my rights as well as I do now. I didn't create this conflict with Cassandra Ventura. She created it with me. She's the one who decided to bring up things that happened over 10 to 15 years ago to hold Sean Combs accountable for what was a partial truth. She's the person who introduced me to the U.S. Attorney's Office. She's the person who told the U.S. Attorney's Office about our relationship. So in essence, those out there who want to hate on me, who want to say that I'm attacking Cassie, you should realize the truth, that Cassandra Ventura, your idol, did this to herself. She exposed herself to liability when she got on the stand and decided to mention me as the male escort who was with her when she overdosed and Diddy made her have sex with him. That was a lie, people. Cassie had just woke up from sleeping 8 hours. Myself and Sean Combs were exhausted. We wanted to go home. Cassie's the one who forced that sexual encounter. People, she tells you that Sean Combs made her have sex on her menstrual cycle. I can't speak for anyone else but myself. But I know the one time that did happen, that Sean Combs was not responsible for that Cassie, in a drunken, intoxicated, hormonally imbalanced state due to her period, manipulated and forced herself on me during her menstrual cycle. And what I mean by that is I had no knowledge she was on her menstrual cycle because the room was completely dark. She manipulated the room. She manipulated the environment to get what she wanted, and then she totally got up like I was the one who should have been grateful. You're on your period. That's disgusting, and I deserved more respect than that. As a man, if I had laid down with a woman and forced myself on her and orgasmed in her and she got up and it was leaking out of her, guess what? I would have raped her. So by statute, by case law definition, Cassandra Ventura sexually assaulted me. I'm not looking to destroy Cassie. I've given Cassie more than a year to settle this before things got out of control. The problem is she's being supported by women like you who would choose to attack male victims instead of accept the truth, which is that a woman could have lied to get revenge on the ex-boyfriend who broke her heart and hurt her. It happens, people. They say hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, and that's true. If you hurt some women, they will do everything in their power. If you hurt some men, they'll do everything in their power to hurt you. But I want to end this by saying this. Cassie did this to herself. They say he who sets out on the course of revenge should dig 2 graves. People, Cassie dug the grave that is Clayton Howard herself. Cassie got on the stand trying to destroy Diddy. She should have took her $20-30 million and walked into the sunset, people. She should have never gotten on the stand and created further liability for herself by telling more of the lie that she created to get this man sent to prison for his life. She made a mistake when she got on the stand, people. She made a mistake when she got on the stand and lied about the events with Clayton Howard. Clayton Howard is a victim of Cassandra Ventura. Clayton Howard didn't ask to be in a relationship with Cassandra Ventura while she was sleeping with numerous men per week. I get it. You all think I was a nasty male prostitute sleeping with women, all different women all the time. It actually didn't work like that. To have certain types of people that can pay you that well, what you really have to do is you have to focus on people who are affluent And affluent people don't engage in activities like that. So I might have had a client once a month. The truth is I was only a male escort for 2 years. I continued in the profession because Cassie and Diddy continued to pay me very well. And I was an ex-con. I needed money. Yes, I was trapped in a situation. I'll admit that. I didn't know what to do. But does that mean I should be victim shamed because the same thing that happened to women all the time happened to me as a man? No. And for those women out there, for you black women who choose to shame me as a black man for telling my truth, you should be ashamed of yourself. That's probably pretty much all I have to say. You will not see me too much in the media. I don't need the public to believe me. I just need a jury of my peers and 12 people to believe me in the court. And thanks to the testimony of Cassie during the trial of Sean Combs, I have that. Thank you for watching. Stop victim shaming. Thank you.
This is the dude. This is the dude that was a juror. I want to hear what he got to say. I don't really want to sit here too long, but it's the juror.
Trial, George.
But hold on. Before we continue, one thing that I do like to do is I know sometimes when we have dual topics that we are going over, sometimes people are here for more so here for one topic rather than the other. I need y'all to let me know, do y'all want to dive into the DDG versus Reggie and all this situation, or do y'all want to dive into the Diddy juror and academics pressing Lil Rod? I'm gonna put out a quick poll. I'm gonna give y'all a couple minutes. I'm gonna let y'all decide which topic y'all want to go to first, because like I told you before, this an intimate crowd, so we big hanging, big vibing. I want y'all to help me steer this plane, okay? All right, the poll is going to be released right now. So which topic first? Boom, boom, boom. Diddy or DDG versus Reggie? So we got Diddy right there. Diddy is fine. If y'all want to go into Diddy, okay. Oh, all right, Diddy fine then. Let's just keep it rolling, all right? Bet, let's keep it moving. So this is Laura Coates. She had a lot of streamers on her thing, or content creators. So I'm liking what she's doing, you know? So she spoke to the dude. Let's see what she got to say.
George is joining us right now. This was 7 weeks of your life, hearing all of this testimony. You were an alternate. You did not deliberate, but did you agree with the final verdict?
I understood the final verdict, and I think if I, because I took a copious amount of notes overall. I took 350 pages worth of notes. Because at the end, we weren't told who was an alternate, who was the main juror until literally the last second. When they were reading when the judge was reading his entire statement at the end, it was like the first 12 of you are the jurors, the last 5 are the alternates. So we didn't know, even in the jury room, no one treated everyone, we all were equal because we didn't know who was who.
Would you have acquitted him on Rico?
I think reading all my notes and looking back at the evidence, I probably would have reached the same conclusion as the other jurors.
Okay.
What was it about that charge?
So I see the chat got DDG versus Reggie winning. All right, so I just want to hear a couple more from what this dude got to say. Then we can go to the DDG and Reggie situation, and then we gonna wrap it back around to y'all gotta see this Lil Rod niggas. I've been trying to tell on my channel for the longest that he was fucking lying. Really, it was really Tyrone Blackburn that took advantage of Lil Rod's situation. Hold on tight though. We gonna get there.
I don't, the thing with the when it. Because we were asked and the judge had instructed us that we have to find him guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Mm-hmm. And I think there was always a little bit of doubt in people's mind. And I think it was a tough case to prove, especially the first one. And there was always a little bit of doubt there, even from the beginning.
Damn. Why did you doubt?
I think some of the charges, some of the witnesses, if you look at it one way, but then when you were listening to the defense, you could see it their way as well.
Were there any witnesses that made you think, I don't believe this?
There was one that I think unanimously we kind of all said like, wow, like it was almost like watching like TV. It was like, like when I think her name was Dawn Richard. That
Oh no, not the Zoe, not my Zoes. That's crazy.
That one. Mm-hmm. When she on cross-examination. I mean, I never saw such a cross-examination. It was very impressive to watch.
What was it about it?
I think just how the defense, got into her and really made her, look very not credible. I mean, I even wrote in my notebook that it was like a takedown.
Damn.
Really? And that was pretty early on.
That was pretty early.
And I did hear reports from people that was like reporting from the courtroom that Don got towed up. It's always interesting to hear from the jury, dog. It's always interesting to hear from them, bro.
From the opening statements, did you have a mindset of who you thought had a better case?
No. I think overall, in the way I look at it, both sides presented really good. You know, both sides presented themselves well. We were very impressed with the prosecution and the defense, how they, the professionalism, how they carried themselves. I mean, it was really good lawyering.
Destiny told me something I forgot about. Don lying to herself. And let's do a roll call, man. Y'all in the chat talk back, man. We got Destiny in the chat, Miss Joyce in here, Kia in the chat, Missy in the talk that talk.
As they say.
Racketeering is notoriously a complex case. Did you feel that the prosecution presented enough evidence to support that there was even an enterprise?
Good, homie.
I think they did the best that they could, but I think it was a tough case to prove.
Why?
I mean, when you look at the charges, kidnapping, arson, forced labor, the government had one side, but then the defense, they had some pretty good rebuttals to it. So I mean that I think added some doubt always, and I think in people's minds.
Doubt.
You didn't hear from some of the people the government said were co-conspirators, like employees,
like Christina Karam,
for example.
See that shit in their mind automatically. That's crazy. See, the legal experts, they were mentioning that. Where's Christina Karam? Where's D-Rock? He ran that name off instantly. So that's what the jurors is thinking. Damn.
Yeah.
Did that affect?
That's why these jurors are making so much damn money once they write their books on these big cases, because getting into their minds is huge. And lawyers, the people in law school, I know they read these jurors' books like crazy because they want to understand the psyche, the mental makeup, and how you want to play on them, because jurors will give you the playbook of how to win them over.
Your thoughts about the case?
I don't think so, no.
Rhonda, how you doing?
Wanted to hear from them?
We always thought that maybe we would hear from them, but maybe we also understood maybe why they wouldn't be called.
Why?
Because maybe they didn't want to testify, or they wouldn't really be proving the case, or maybe it would be not advantageous to be called. So, but honestly, we were just waiting till the end, until when the judge gave his instructions and how to interpret the law. Because I think
what I've been telling y'all, dog, I ain't never been in law school. I mean, I was in Tallahassee, Florida State, right there. I never went to no nan law school, and I still told y'all last. It's going to come down to the judge's instructions and how the jury interprets it. I've been saying that from the beginning. I was fighting with people. Well, I didn't even fight. I just know my one statement tore their ass up on social media. It was thousands of them comments and likes and shit. But I said it comes down to the judge's instructions and how the jury interprets it. He may get off. He may serve some jail time. This happened to be a little bit of both, because that's what it came down to, dog.
Everyone really didn't have anything made up, their mind made up, or in any way. It was really, everyone was waiting to see how, the definitions and how everything was going to be interpreted and what they were to be looked at. Exactly.
So important.
What's good, Elaine?
Talk to me about the sex trafficking cases, because of court charges. Obviously, Cassie Ventura testified visibly pregnant for days.
Yes.
How did her testimony impact you in your understanding of the case?
It did. I listened. We listened very intently. It was, I think, 5 days or forever of thing, and it was very riveting. And it was very riveting testimony, and very credible testimony.
You believed her?
I mean, I think we did. I think we did. I mean, she wouldn't have done all this just to come up there and
Shantae, I ain't seen you in a long time. Shantae, what's good?
Lie about everything. So no, I don't think even the defense didn't didn't come out and say or anything like that.
Did the money that they talked about in terms of a civil settlement she received, did that color her testimony for you at all?
Charles,
I don't think so, no. I don't think so, no.
Did you look at the defendant, Diddy Combs, differently after her testimony?
No, I didn't really look at him too much. I mean, I always looked at him because my point of view was just literally at him. like some people are on the side, but I was more in the corner. So I was always like
we just started
staring at him. But I don't think he was mostly just very composed and talking with his lawyers and very in control, it seemed like. You know, because I think I'm not really familiar too much with cases and I don't really follow cases in court, so I don't know how defendants usually act. But sometimes what I've heard in from the news is that some defendants, they just sit very stoically. They don't interact with their lawyers. They just let their lawyers talk and go. But he was very, talking with them, writing notes, doing that. So you could tell that he was fighting for himself.
He gonna be who he is all the way out. Until the wheels fall off, Diddy gonna be Diddy. He wants to be in control. He wants power. So I'm not surprised to hear that shit at all.
You saw some very graphic images, videos. You heard very sexual and graphic details.
Here you go.
What was that like, hearing that? And how did it impact how you viewed the case?
No, they were very graphic, and but I think overall, it was we were looking at it from like one side, and it was definitely riveting and eye-opening.
What did you see on the videos? The press wasn't able to see it in real time.
Yeah. No, I mean they were showing some of the. Well, I mean there was both the freak offs and hotel nights, as they were called, from both of them. But it was.
What did they show in those videos?
They wouldn't talk.
They showed, well, again, the defense and the prosecution showed different clips, so they were very selective. Like the prosecution was showing more, just Cassie just sitting around.
The defense showed that.
Defense showed that, yeah.
Just her sitting around, not engaging in sexual activity.
Yes.
The prosecution, when you had to have your headphones on and otherwise, what were you seeing then?
There was sexual activity, but I mean it wasn't really.
Was it forced?
It didn't seem forced. It was actually like pretty tame.
Really?
Yeah.
Did she?
It was just a lot of rubbing oil and stuff on there. It wasn't anything too.
But they doing that Cinemax porn. Y'all remember back in the days when Cinemax used to have that porn versus the Channel 99? I don't know how old y'all is. I remember I got a big brother and big sister. I remember watching Channel 99. It used to be way different than Cinemax shit. Cinemax, they used to be like, a little soft porn.
Graphic.
Channel 99 used to
Let me
get
ask
lit.
you, graphic.
Let me ask you,
Appreciate you, Santa.
this jury that deliberated did not find sex trafficking when it came to Cassie Ventura. They also didn't find it when it came to Jane. And I want to ask you about Jane in a moment. But did it surprise you when it came to Cassie Ventura that they did not convict on sex trafficking?
No, I think it was a difficult thing to prove, and I think there was always some doubt, whether, because I think what the judge says, it has to be forced. And I think the defense did show some messages where it didn't seem that it was forced.
Oh, her text message.
I remember the day this came out, and I was confused as hell when she was like, "I'm always ready to freak off." That threw me off. From that point, like
the text
she
messages.
talked about it.
Yeah.
That was really important to you to consider.
I think that was one aspect. Yes.
Did that make you feel that it was consensual?
It did seem like it. Yeah.
Talk to me about Jane.
Even in the videos and everything seemed very consensual.
Really?
Yeah.
How about with Jane? Obviously, she testified for several days, very emotional at times.
It was, yeah.
What did you think of her credibility? Did you believe her?
I think it was very again riveting, long testimony. and I did believe her, at least on some parts. Some parts were a little bit didn't add up as much. Seemed a little strange.
What part seemed strange to you?
One part for me that seemed a little strange was the night, I think, when Jane was in, when they had the fight.
Yeah.
The timing seemed a little like you going from like one closet to another closet to it just something didn't add up there.
Talking about someone, did y'all invest in baby oil stocks yet? Hey, you might be onto something. I gotta look at some Johnson & Johnson. For sure, Johnson & Johnson. It's gonna be a lot of baby oil being purchased, and probably a lot of babies being made too. I think whenever Diddy gets out, he's gonna be freaky business as usual. I think so for sure. Do you think he's gonna throw a party when he gets out? Once he gets out, because he's not getting out on bail or nothing, he's gonna be fully out, I think, or he may be on probation. I don't know how that works, but once he get out, that nigga throwing free offs for sure. Because I think now he's going to be able to openly do it. It's going to be people that want to do it with him, so he's not gonna have to pay. That's what I'm thinking. He's not gonna have to pay no more. They know you bisexual. They know you freaky as hell. So it's gonna be people that want to do that shit with him. So it's gonna be easier for him.
How about the impact when you heard that her rent was being paid or her lawyer is being paid by the defendant? Did that surprise you? That
was surprising, yeah, and it was still being paid.
What did you think when you heard that?
Wow, it was surprising.
For me too. Let me listen to a little bit more, then we're gonna move on to Diddy G and shit. And then come back to Lil Rod and Academics altercation.
You as well about, obviously I'm talking about Diddy as if I know him. Like we know his name because he's,
Just Me was good.
This very famous person. Did the fact that he was so famous, did that impact you in any way? Did you know him?
No, I did not know him.
Do you know his music at all?
No, I don't. I didn't really listen to his music.
Wow.
So seeing him was just a stranger.
Pretty much. I know of him, and I know, but I don't really follow his music or the rap industry in general. So that might have been why. I think a lot of the jurors, I think if you look at their backgrounds, I don't think they were, they didn't follow this or that. That's probably why they were chosen.
Yeah, I think so, because when we went through the list, that makes sense why everybody seems like very old, or their jobs, they were interesting jobs. They obviously wouldn't be people that would be aware of Diddy and the trial and follow along. So that made a lot of sense.
Never expected to be chosen, to be honest.
Yeah, well,
I wasn't even looking for this at all.
Who would be,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
But let me ask you.
Let me see your question and see if I want to hear it.
The other jurors, when you would talk to them, I know you weren't allowed to deliberate at all.
Whatever. All right, so we'll come back to Academics versus Lil Rod. Lil Rod got his ass exposed. I've been telling y'all for the longest, his lawsuit, a bunch of lies in it. We'll come back to that, but the poll has voted, and y'all want to see the Diddy G versus Reggie commentary. So let's walk on through that thing. So